Hi, this is Dr. Lemurie Lamsai, also known as Merlin. Welcome to another episode of SciLife's Off-Script Sessions. These off-script sessions are from members of the SciLife community. Join the SciLife community by subscribing, hit that notification bell so that you can get more content like this. Also, get engaged in commenting in the comment sections below. By doing this, your voice can be heard. Also, share these videos with advanced individuals like yourself so that this new perspective is available for those who wish to awaken, adapt, and thrive in the post-pandemic world. Alright, in today's video we're going to be talking about Luciferian witchcraft. I'm going to talk about the general principles and aims of Luciferian philosophy and craft, talk about the selection of altar items, the altar setup, garb, and meditation and mantras. You may also be asking, what does witchcraft have to do with secular spirituality? In this video I'm going to talk about what the point of it is and also give you a couple of hints and tips on how to set it up and how to do it from a place of Luciferian philosophy. I feel like Luciferianism is extremely important for society. It's extremely important for the general well-being of not just humanity. So I promote Luciferianism, and I think that more people could benefit from it. But again, just those that are ready for it. This video is for Cree on my YouTube channel, and for all the Luciferians and all the people on Left Hand Path Facebook page who have commented on posts, who have been so good about getting back and sharing their views, whether they were contentious and against what I was saying or whether they were very supportive and very encouraging. I want to thank you guys, especially the supportive people, but also the contentious ones, for posting and being engaged. I really appreciate it. So this video is for you. Now, before I get started, if you're a Trinitarian Christian, you believe in the Trinity, and you don't know that you're a Luciferian yet, check out the video that's either posted here or here so that you can find out a little bit more about the Luciferian movement in Christianity that started in the 4th century. Christian friends and whatnot, if you're watching this and you're just watching it out of love and interest in seeing my face, which I don't know if you really feel that way, but whatever, you may be thinking that Luciferianism is bad and witchcraft is bad. So this Luciferian witchcraft is triple bad. It's triple evil. Why would I do it? If you're interested and you're curious, keep watching, because Luciferianism is actually a Christian doctrine that started in the 4th century. The greater concepts of Luciferianism, though, are occult, and they do have to deal with the light bringer, the god Venus, and it is a pagan quality to it. But Luciferianism, its first incarnation was the 4th century Luciferians under the Lucifer of Cagliari. You may be asking yourself, what's the point of witchcraft in the modern world? Many of the people on Left Hand Path are atheists. They're not theistic. They don't believe in any type of God or any type of magic or anything like that. And they're saying, what is the purpose? So one of the things that I learned from Anton LaVey, and this is from Satanism, the Church of Satan, was that the point of many of his rituals was psychodrama. He was convinced that it gives expression to deeper repressed urges within the human psyche so that they don't get bottled up and express themselves in destructive ways for the individual. Now, my own work with Luciferian alchemy, witchcraft, ritual over the 11 years that I was a practicing Luciferian, I am going to just amalgamate right now under the title of craft. Now, I'm going to refer to it as craft. But my goal here is not to get too specific, but to try and stay broad and general, just to give people recommendations that they can use to empower their own path and their own creation. Now, the core, one of the cores of Satanism in most Left-Hand Path is rational self-interest. This is not a turn the other cheek mentality. What happens is you take your psychic energy, thought-based energy, and you bring it back home so that you can use it to create and to build and to do things in the world that benefit you. In addition to what I just discussed, there are a few central pillars of the Left-Hand Path approaches, such as Luciferian philosophy. These pillars include apotheosis, enlightenment, accountability, autonomy, liberty, non-dualistic tolerance, and rational self-interest. They form the basis of a very sound, rational, internally consistent, and secular approach to spirituality and religion.
Any form of craft based on this philosophy can be delightful, enchanting, and powerful when building selfhood and self-awareness. This approach also allows us to integrate the archetypes and symbols from various religious traditions and spiritual systems that are most pleasing for us. I'll discuss the deeper pillars of Luciferian philosophy later, but if you're more interested in references related to this topic, stay tuned to the end of the video. But let's continue to why we do our craft.
Well, witchcraft is very important, especially when you incorporate altars and rituals, because it allows expression for these deeper urges without those urges spilling over into other aspects of your life and harming you. Another purpose of witchcraft and craft of any form is expanded self-awareness and engagement in life for enrichment, rather than escapism, which can be destructive and related to religious literalism.
Now I'm going to diverge a little bit and talk about the ancient masters of craft, because this is very important to Luciferian witchcraft as it's applied today.
A lot of the ancient people at the higher level were non-theistic. They were not pantheistic or polytheistic or theistic in any form. They were non-theistic. They understood that gods, spirits, demons, devils, all of these things were personifications of qualities that existed within the individual and also within life and in nature. They understood that there was no actual Zeus or Thor in the heavens throwing down thunderbolts and all that stuff at the higher level. Now, the children and the people who were more simple-minded took those things literally. These things were not created to be real. We created God in our image. We are the chaos beings that created the gods.
Gods are structures and concepts that bring order to the natural world. Think of it as personification or a literary tool that we use to describe a concept. By turning something into a god, we are able to give that god the characteristics of the thing being observed in nature or in life. Deification, or apotheosis, was a process by which a concept, a person, an animal, or a natural phenomenon was personified and then turned into a god. That god was imbued with the characteristics of what was being apotheosized. It was an ancient way of organizing the natural world and psychological process while transmitting the knowledge to future generations. And in so doing, we bring order to the world around us. It helps us as humans to pass on knowledge and to share wisdom with generations that follow. An example is the god Atum in ancient Kemet. The transcendent totality is what Atum represented. Atum was a concept that connected all life forms and all physical phenomena in life. This source of being and awareness was personified and then apotheosized and later worshipped by those who did not understand the deeper meaning. Set, the lord of the Duat, and darkness contained all the characteristics of death, darkness, and the unknown, along with other principles. In later generations, Set was also worshipped by those uninitiated who failed to understand the deeper implications. Luciferian witchcraft and magic incorporate these concepts. Most left-hand paths understand that the deeper meaning of a concept does not mean that that concept is a living, real thing.
Getting back to it, witchcraft helps you to tap into that part of yourself that engages you in life and helps you to see, oh, that's why this upsets me. That's why I'm able to conquer in this area. And it helps you to cultivate that and create a life that works. A lot of the escapism that people in the left-hand path may incorporate, if it's not grounded in something that allows you to engage more present in your life, then it's coming from a religious literalism. So let's first of all talk about a power source for your witchcraft. Power source for your witchcraft can be a god, a demon, a spiritual being. It can be an inspiring figure, someone who's transitioned out of this life, or a person who is now dead. It can be all of those things. But the greatest power in your witchcraft or in your craft is you. You are the portal to greater power in your life because your experiences are guided by you. Your actions are guided by you. The problem is that a lot of people don't know that being within that actually is driving the show. All craft, meditation, items, etc. should cultivate the power in you. You should feel powerful through these items, through these acts, the psychodrama, and from a rational, logical point of view. This engages confirmation bias and self-fulfilling prophecy clearly. But it's tapping into this power, and this is where your greatest magical work can happen. And this is where the greatest magical work has happened for me. So keep in mind, and keep this in mind for your Luciferian craft, that your greatest power is you. Lucifer is an archetype, it's a symbol that you can use to access that power.
The philosophical foundations of Luciferianism can be difficult to determine. Unlike most right-hand path religions or spiritual systems, Luciferianism is more individualistic. It can be hard to find books that discuss Luciferian history and philosophy. The first three texts that I'm showing you here are incredible sources of that information. Now, the fourth text is a collection of stories of transcendent personal growth that are written from a Luciferian perspective. And some of the things that they all share, I'm going to just cover here. Now, there are many different ways to incorporate Luciferian philosophy into your craft, whether it be alchemy, witchcraft, ritual, or greater lesser magic. Now, the central tenets of Luciferian philosophy are apotheosis, illumination through experiential enlightenment, liberty, self-accountability, and monistic oneness or non-duality. Okay, additional principles that different people have shared are acceptance of intrinsic pleasure, which is more of a Levian Satanist thing. It's like engagement and indulgence in intrinsic pleasure. Sophistication, intellect, reason, logic, and objectivity. Also, autonomous self-expression, natural harmony and beauty, opulence, and luxury. These are other additional principles of Luciferianism, and these can be incorporated into your Luciferian witchcraft or practice. Let these be the basis of your item selection, altar setup, garb, meditation, and mantras. Now, I want to stress the most potent form of Luciferianism and other left-hand philosophies is when you're able to engage in your life. I've said this before and I've got to say it again. Engagement in life. Engagement in life is not ignoring spiritual beings or pretending like you don't experience them. It's just using those experiences to fuel your power in life, to get the things that you want in life, to create the experiences you want in life, and to build relationships that you want in life. This practice is about engagement, not about escape. There is a fantasy aspect to craft, and it's awesome. It's wonderful. I love it. It's great. But I also understand that if I begin running from my problems through my craft, it's more detrimental to me than if I am engaging in my problems and learning how to blast through them. Being able to tap into that, engage in your life, be successful, be effective is very, very important. Altars are a very great place because they are like a charging station. Think of your altar as your charging station. What it does is it brings your awareness back in. It helps you to refocus on things that you are intending for your life, and it's really important to have an altar that works for you. Altar items, and I'm just going to say something very short about it because I can make an entire video on altar items. If you're interested in a video on altar items, make sure you leave a comment in the section below. So when selecting your altar items, make sure that you are selecting items that speak to you, something that you feel really connected to. Don't let anybody else tell you what is right or what is wrong, not even this video. Don't let this be a new gospel or a new dogma. Let this be an inspiration, because there is a power in you that is infinite, that is eternal. It is the flow of life. It is the transcendent totality. And I'm not invoking some sort of a god. I'm talking about the flow of consciousness and electricity through all of the cosmos as we understand it. How your altar items resonate with you is the most important part of selecting altar items.
Everything has a resonance. That's what allows it to be perceptible within our world. Our brain is taking signals from our senses and interpreting all that we are seeing based on the media that collect these data. The energy of something is very subtle, and the brain is able to pick up on the very subtle cues, you know, the different ridges on this crystal, along with the bends and the twists of the copper wiring. All of these things my brain is analyzing and understanding at a very, very deep level. Now, my conscious self is not even aware of any of this stuff. It's just like, okay, cool, it's great, I feel it. But the brain is recording and understanding all of these very subtle differences. With those subtle differences, each item that you select for your altar is going to have a different power, a different effect on you. So what I want to do is I want to encourage you to select those that when you touch them, or when you see them or smell them, or even taste them, that they give you a really strong impression of support and power. When you use it, when you feel it, you feel powerful, you feel supported. So if you feel power when you touch an item, or when you see an item, or when you buy an item, or you feel a sense of enchantment, that's going to be really powerful for your altar. If the item you're selecting for your altar doesn't do anything for you, then it's just worthless and useless. Give it to someone else because it may be powerful for them. You can find items in nature, altar items in nature, like these. These are pieces of a beautiful tree that I considered a friend that was cut down, and that energy I just allowed to incorporate back into me. The strength of the tree, the power of the tree, the presence and protection of the tree, I just allowed to incorporate itself into me. And so nature's a great place to find them. Serendipitous experiences, going to thrift stores. Thrift stores are great because they have, some of the items have like a lot of energy, a lot of experiences infused into them. Crystals are great because they absorb a lot of things, and different crystals have different meanings. I like crystals because they're beautiful, they're made of the earth, and I just like pretty shiny shit. Crystals can be a mnemonic device. It can be a way to trigger certain memories. So they're pretty, they're shiny, they come out of the earth, they're natural. They're a great way to tap into certain mind states and to trigger certain levels of consciousness. So crystals are really good. Keepsakes from the family are great altar items. Things that my children have made for me, or that my partner had purchased for me, I'll put on the altar because it helps me to remain connected to people I love. Artifacts are really cool. Things that are really old, that have been touched by a lot of people, are great because there's a lot of think about it, they're tiny little particles in molecules and stuff like that on there that have been touched by people that goes back hundreds of years or thousands of years if you have really old items. So really, really good stuff to have. And last but not least, the symbols, things like hexagrams, metatrons, cubes, swastikas, pentagrams, whatever. Those are really, really powerful and useful altar items, and for altar items. So having a physical representation of a swastika or a sigil of different types can be really great if you're meditating, because it's a way to really ground in, and it's a mnemonic device. It just helps your brain remember a positive state or a powerful state of mind.
So I have to stop the video here because it's getting a little long-winded, but the parts that have to do with selecting an altar, designing your own mantras and meditations, as well as selecting your garb, is going to be in some upcoming videos. At the moment, I just run out of time. But I want to thank you for watching, and if you like this and you want to see more, let me know by subscribing, leaving a comment in the section below, and giving me a thumbs up. Thank you so much. Have a good day.